Roaming is an incredibly effective way to shut down the enemy team's pushes right before they start, unless you do it wrong. Because when you do it wrong, it might as well be a 4v5. That's why in this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips to help you guys roam while playing Siege. Once again, thanks guys for coming to the video, and if you guys do learn something from it, consider hitting that like and subscribe button for more content. We also have a few other tip videos that you guys might want to check out on the channel. And the last thing is that we do stream on Twitch every single day, so if you guys want to see me rage at Rainbow, go ahead and check that out. The link's in the description. Okay, so you want to roam, right? I wanted to make this video because roaming has something that has seriously changed my own gameplay. I never really used to roam. Personally, I was kind of scared of it. It's not easy to feel confident out on your own in a big map with no friends around, but it can be such an impactful skill that it is worth it to get good at. And so I personally set out to try and start roaming, and I've been loving it. But here are the 5 tips of roaming, and the 5th one being the most important one, so you're gonna want to stick around for that one. Let's start with number 1, and that would be knowing which operators to pick. Now this can be an entire video on its own, and while there are many ways to play certain types of operators, there are some that I recommend you guys do not play unless you're incredibly advanced at it. That means as a general rule, try and go with faster operators with strong weapons. Being fast will allow you to rotate around the map and get back to sight if you need to, and having a strong weapon is important as defensive weapons tend to be much weaker than attacking weapons. Try and study the operator's utility and see how it might help you in a roaming situation. Some utilities might not help at all, which is why you might want to consider not using that operator to roam. 1-speed operators are not the best roamers because 1, they're incredibly heavy, so they make a lot of noise, and 2, they're incredibly slow, so getting back to sight and rotating around the map is very difficult and could leave you exposed pretty easily. That being said, it is a pretty complex topic, but for a general rule, try and go with faster operators, good gun. The second rule would be use rotations. This also goes into play with the operator you choose because some operators can make rotations easier. Some might have shotguns or impacts that will allow you to create these rotations. Setting up rotations around the map is incredibly important while roaming because it allows you to access different parts of the map much quicker and safer. Being able to bust open a couple hatches or break through certain walls will really give you an advantage when you're in a tough situation or when you want to get somewhere quicker. So try and do some research on your own to see what are some of the best rotations you might need while roaming. Now the third rule is to have a plan. Roaming simply isn't just going on the other side of the map and waiting in a random room. You have to consider where you might find enemies and catch them off guard. Try and think about your approach as an attacker and see where you might be vulnerable. You're going to want to have a method of attack while roaming, not simply just going through any room and seeing if you find anything. That's one of the easiest ways to get spotted out and killed. Use your game knowledge and information to know where the operators are coming from and see where you can find them most vulnerable. Have a game plan. Holding Shift W throughout the map without any plan is not an effective roaming strategy. The 4th rule is going to be know when to cycle back. You're going to have to analyze how the round is going and knowing when you need to retreat back to site. This again is a very complicated topic, but as a general rule, if there's a man advantage or a man disadvantage, you might want to consider heading back to site. Your team is up 5-3. Heading back to site will almost guarantee that site victory. Using your man advantage wisely is how you win rounds. If you're out in an empty room not seeing anyone, you are not helping the team. You might as well not even be alive. And at the same time, if you're down a player, you might want to consider heading back to site, as the man disadvantage will leave the people on site much more vulnerable. As a general rule of thumb, if you're up 2 people or down 2 people, I would say consider heading back to site. And the 5th and most important rule of roaming is that you are not there to get kills. And I know that sounds weird, but it's the truth. The job of a roamer is not to pop off and get 4 kills every round. Now that would be nice, but that is not your job. The number 1 priority of roamers is to waste time. You have to waste as much of the attacker's time as physically possible. That means just utilizing your presence as a roamer is enough to make the attacking operators doubt their decisions. The more doubt that they have that they might get shot as soon as they walk into a doorway is the more time they will take trying to clear it out. An attacker can spend an entire round chasing a roamer and not even realize it. Just the presence of having a roamer is enough to spark that doubt. That means you're going to have to utilize that and be patient. Sometimes there's fights that you don't even want to take. Sending a couple shots their way and completely running the other way is a pretty effective strategy. That'll leave them wondering where you are and where did you go. And all that's going to make them double think their steps and waste a lot of time. And that'll be it for my 5 rules of roaming. I know this is an incredibly complex topic and it definitely can't be fit all into this small video, but I really hope that these tips can help you guys out. But once again, thanks for everyone for coming to the video. If there's anything that you guys want to add, please do leave it in the comments, as I would love to talk about it. And once again, if you guys want to talk to me personally or have any questions to ask, I am live on Twitch and I love reading my chat. Want to stop by and let's have a talk. But that'll be it for today's video. Once again, as you're leaving, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. See you later. Got him. Guys, help.
Yeah, it's just on the pole though.